more. To learn more, call Scan Health Plan at 1-855-479-7226, TTY 711, or ask your local agent about Scan. Call Scan to see if you qualify. Scan Health Plan is an HMO plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Scan Health Plan depends on contract renewal.
The KFI financial report brought to you by Bay Alarm. The Dow is up 22 points. S&P up a quarter of a point. Nasdaq down 24. And the average price for a regular gallon of gasoline in California, $4.43.
Bay Alarm security systems can change with your business, so you're right for now and ready for the next.
Southland weather from KSI. Another chance for rain today. Mostly cloudy out there right now. Highs in the 60s from the coast to Metro LA, Illinois, the valleys and IE. Sunshine really moving in this weekend. We'll be back in the 70s to low 80s inland by Sunday. Right now it's 62 in Fullerton, 62 in Irvine, 60 in Glendale, 61 in Pacific Palisades. We lead local, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Layla Muhammad.
KFI AM 640 Handle here, and the morning crew, Friday, October 8th. Tonight, game one of the playoff, Dodgers against the Giants, so that's pretty exciting. Big rivalry, and the investigators are really close to naming or to giving us the reason of that oil pipeline break. I mean, we know this is coming. A ship's anchor being dragged across the pipeline and cracking it. We have all of this oil, 144 gallons of crude that's spilled into the water and onto the beach. All right, Corbin Carson has been looking at and covering the story of Bruce's Beach. And as you know, there's a black family and had a chunk of land right on the water in Huntington Beach back in the 20s. And it was effectively stolen from them. It's been a huge story. It's not only covered nationally, I think it was covered internationally. And it's the KFI News Presents episode, Corbin Carson, and it's going to air. It's a 2-hour show, October 9th, 8 to 10, and then the next day, Sunday, 8 to 10 again, p.m. Corbin, thanks for joining us. Tell me a little bit about it, and it's just a fascinating story and what you have found.
Yeah, it really is. This special takes a close look at race and reparations. It really dives into the history of what was going on 100 years ago. As you mentioned, Manhattan Beach used eminent domain to take this land, Bruce's Beach, from a black family. They had built a thriving cafe, a lodge, a dance hall. That thrived for more than a decade. It became known as Bruce's Beach. It was one of the few places, it was one of two places, one in Santa Monica and just at Bruce's Beach, where black people were allowed to enjoy the beach at the time. The couple and other black families were harassed by neighbors and the KKK, and when that didn't run off the Bruce's, the city used the eminent domain to take that park under the ruse of, that site under the ruse of building a park. They didn't build a park until the 50s. Charles and Willa Bruce bought this land in 1912 for $1,225. That property today is estimated to be worth more than $70 million. So this, again, is a close look into the history and the beginnings of this country. And we talked to historians. We talked to the protester who made all this happen during this national discussion on race in the wake of the murder of George Floyd. And you know, we also talked to the city, as Manhattan Beach spent a year struggling to figure out how to address this history. The city created a task force to verify the history, draft an official apology, and a few other things. But during these heated council meetings, a lot of this stuff did not get done, including one of the hot points was whether or not to apologize officially to the family. And, of course, we talked to the family, and I asked Anthony Bruce, he's the great-great-grandson of Charles and Willa Bruce, about this apology. He says...
Have we just lost him? We did. We want to bring him back, if we can. And if not, okay, we lost him, so he's going to try to call back. And I want to make a point here about Bruce's Beach, and that is what a lot of people don't know is the racism level of the 20s, of the 1920s. You think about, racism, true, vicious, horrible racism coming in after the Civil War. Nothing compared, well, that's not true, but it's, I guess you can say nothing compared to the racism of the 1920s in the United States. Lynching was still going on in the South. I mean, if you can believe that. There are photos, video, well, actually just photos. I don't think there's any film of 10, 20,000 Ku Klux Klan members. I'm talking about with the hoods and the whole thing, the entire outfit, marching down Pennsylvania Avenue, and hundreds of thousands of people watching them. And the Ku Klux Klan was probably more powerful in the 1920s than it ever was at any time in history of the United States. I mean, it was crazy. And Bruce's Beach story comes out of that, where they took away, of course, the family land. Now, it's important to point out, and I was going to ask this of Corbin, it's relatively easy for the Bruce family now to get the land back. And when I say relatively easy for them to receive the land, it's because the land was never put in private hands. The land was always in governmental hands. It was by eminent domain, I think, of the city of Manhattan Beach, and then it was transferred to the county. So there was no private property there. Now, the issue becomes problematic when land was stolen by either coercion or fraud, and it's owned by people now. How do you deal with that? Is Corbin back? No? All right. I'm sure we'll pick this up. But it's this Saturday, 8 to 10 p.m., and this stand is my stand, the Soul and Legacy of Bruce's Beach, and there's an encore presentation Sunday, the next day, also 8 to 10 p.m. Coming up, a vacation that you'll never be able to afford. It's iconic, and this is something that I've been dying to do for decades. I'll never be able to afford it, but I want to share with you just one fun story of a trip, literally a trip of a lifetime. And that before we do Handle on the News, which is a super segment today. KFI AM 640, let's check in with Layla Muhammad.
Long Beach police say the deadly shooting of an 18-year-old woman by a school safety officer is being investigated as a possible homicide. Mona Rodriguez was declared brain dead after last month's shooting and died Tuesday after she was removed from life support. California has become the first state to prohibit stealthing or removing a condom without permission during intercourse. Governor Newsom signed the law yesterday, and U.S. employers added just 194,000 jobs in September. The report from the Labor Department today also shows the unemployment rate fell sharply to 4.8% from 5.2% in August. We're checking out traffic in East LA next.
Rates subject to change without notice. Minimum loan amount requirements apply. 50% loan to value and 740 FICO credit score. Certain restrictions apply. Subject to credit approval. NMLS 3290. Loans made or arranged pursuant to a California Finance Lenders Law License number 6036970. Equal housing lender.
Unbelievable. Home loan rates have dropped again at IntelliLoan. Today, IntelliLoan is offering a 1.875% rate in the APR with no points and no lender fees. Did you hear that? A 1.875%. Don't think you qualify? I bet you haven't called IntelliLoan. You don't have to have perfect credit to get this great home loan. So lock in this unbelievably low 1.875% fixed rate in APR with no points and no lender fees. So call IntelliLoan before the rates go up. Call them at 1-800-918-6200. That's 1-800-918-6200. Or just go to IntelliLoan.com.
IntelliLoan. Borrow smart.
In need of a vacation? Your Catalina Island experience awaits. And now for a limited time, stay 3 nights for the price of 2 at any Catalina Island company property. Book your next vacation at visitCatalinaIsland.com. That's visitCatalinaIsland.com.
Cloudy skies with a chance for rain, highs in the 60s. This report brought to you by Catalina Island Company. From the Southern California Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, we make it easy. Let's check out traffic.
Yeah, nothing easy around the East Hill interchange. Getting a lot of play here this morning, so if you're approaching, you got to be careful now. This is the West 60 to the West 10, one of the straighter transitions going through the East Hill interchange with a stuck car carrier as the West 60 flow from Whittier or Lorena. Now, once you get through that, don't get too excited because it's really a crawl. Of course, Santa Monica Freeway takes over West End, but it's real slow out to Robertson, Washington Boulevard, always better out to Culver City. It always works. Now, Orange County, kind of a dangerous situation. South side of Culver Drive, that's south of the 55. Reports are steel and big pieces of steel, big enough to hurt you, so please slow down as CHP and other people get there to get it out of your way. And back San Fernando Valley, a better report here. Now, remind you, it's kind of slick out there, so don't get carried away. But the East 101 flow from Tampa, you continue all the way over to the 134. Once you get past the 101, you're in good shape for Glendale. South 405, boy, not bad at all, considering what's going on. Burbank Boulevard, that's where the morning drive starts going into West LA. All lanes are open there. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Jeff Bob.
This report is sponsored by Spectrum Business. Small businesses are always looking for ways to cut costs. That's why they should switch to Spectrum Business. They could cut their internet and phone bill in half while getting faster internet speeds and proven reliability. Call 888-489-2212 today.
This is my business. I started it, and my hard work made it successful. We survived the last year, and things are starting to look better, but now hard work alone isn't enough. I need cash to hire some people and buy supplies. Loan Me Business is for people like you. We can loan your business from $6,000 up to $250,000. And we understand that you don't need the cash soon. You need it now. And if your credit isn't perfect, that's okay. Apply today and you can have the money in your account tomorrow. Loan Me Business loans have longer terms, keeping your monthly payments low and manageable. You can even pay the loan off early to control your costs with no prepayment penalties. That sounds great. Simply go to loanmebiz.com to get started. That's loanmebiz.com or call 844-3-LOAN-ME.
Not all applicants will qualify. Approval and terms subject to credit standards. See loanme.com for details. Loans made pursuant to California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation Law License 603K061.
That's 844-3-LOAN-ME or loanmebiz.com.
Hey, if you want to sell your house or condo fast and easy, call Seller's Advantage. They'll buy your home as is for cash. With Seller's Advantage, there are no realtor fees or commissions, no escrow fees, no repairs needed, no open houses, no strangers walking through your home. They buy your house or condo for cash. David and Doug from Seller's Advantage just bought a house from one of our KFI listeners. The owner wanted to sell the house. He met with a couple of real estate agents, and then he met with Seller's Advantage. He compared the numbers. Well, he went with Seller's Advantage. Smart KFI listener. He ended up with the same money, same bottom line, and no repairs, no headaches, no open houses, no hassle. He says working with Seller's Advantage was the easiest real estate transaction he has ever completed. If you're considering selling your home, call Seller's Advantage and see how much your home is worth. BRE number 01961658. Call now for your free quote. Call 888-321-AS-IS. Call 888-321-AS-IS. That's 888-321-AS-IS. Or go to sellersadvantage.com.
Hey, it's me, your wallet. Let's save money on our next trip to Stater Brothers Market by choosing their family of brands. They have everyday savings on things like Full Circle Market's organic goods, Simply Done's household essentials, and Craven's delicious snacks. They're the same quality as the national brand, but at a much better price. Because if you can't tell the difference, why pay the difference? Save with Stater Brothers Market's family of brands.
Attention savvy investors. Are you looking to hedge against inflation and receive steady monthly cash flow? How about the safety and security of a real estate investment without the hassles of being a landlord? Maybe you should cash out of some stock market risk and volatility and take some money off the table. Instead, receive 10% annualized monthly payouts with bonuses targeted to 21%. NRIA is an industry-leading real estate development firm in its 15th year constructing strategically located, lower-risk, high-demand properties in unique neighborhoods based on supply-demand imbalance. Call 800-800-1414 to start your due diligence. A great fit for safety-oriented investors desiring monthly cash flow and diversification into carefully curated real estate. Learn more about the NRIA Real Estate Development Fund at nria.net or call 800-800-1414. That's 800-800-1414.
An offer of securities is only made by the NRIA Private Placement Memorandum. Read it first. Past performance does not guarantee future results. NRIA is a real estate development firm. Learn more at nria.net.
Spectrum Business knows small businesses are always looking to cut expenses. That's why we offer the best value on fast internet and phone. But we wanted to do more. So, how does 1 month free sound? Get 200 megabit per second internet for $49.99 a month and business phone for $19.99 a month. And right now, you can get 1 month of internet and phone and even TV for free. Call 855-258-5887 and switch to Spectrum Business. Restrictions apply.
Impact Mortgage Corp. DBA Cash Call Mortgage. NMLS ID 128231. Equal housing lender. Non-licensed in all states, including New York. Offer based on loans over $250,000. Call 855-657-9910 for licensing terms and restrictions.
What's better than a mortgage interest rate and APR in the twos? How about a cash-out refi with an interest rate and APR in the twos? At Cash Call Mortgage, our customers are getting the cash they need from their home's equity and getting a low interest rate and APR in the twos. Imagine refinancing your mortgage to a rate and APR in the twos and taking cash out for the things in life you need. At Cash Call Mortgage, we'll even pay the title, escrow, and appraisal fees. Home values have soared and interest rates are at all-time lows. But the clock is ticking on how long these rates and APRs will stay this low. Imagine a mortgage rate in the twos and some extra cash in your pocket. For a free quote to see if you qualify, go to cashcallmortgage.com or call us today. Call 800-633-0861. That's 800-633-0861. 800-633-0861.
Now they want to test the vaccinated.
You notice how it never ends? I keep saying this. It was
This one convinces me you're right.
This is a control freak mental issue on the part of people who are in charge. And there's no bigger control freak mental issue than one that resides in the brain of a human resources officer.
John and Ken, weekdays at 2
They're like homeowners association people.
on KFI.
KFI AM 640. Bill Handel here. It is a Friday morning, October the 8th. And some of the big stories we're covering. Dodgers tonight. They start, game one. And, it's going to be pretty exciting against the Giants. Elon Musk announced that Tesla is moving the headquarters from Palo Alto to Austin, Texas. Not alone. Oracle said the same thing. HP, Hewlett Packard, moving out of California. Now, that's just the headquarters, but it's really important because it's the taxation issue happens where the headquarters are. Go figure. Yeah, California. Now, vacation. I know that is not quite vacation time, although it should be. Best time to go on vacation is during the fall or the spring. Now, forget about over the holidays. Everything is jammed if you're going to take a winter holiday. And, of course, summertime is ridiculous out there. And it doesn't matter where you go, overseas, here, nationally. And one of the, so that's why I'm bringing this up now. Also because the story came up out of CNBC. And it's just fun, and I want to share with you because it hit home, because this is something I've wanted to do for decades. You've heard of the Orient Express? It's a real train, and it was created in the 1920s, and the entire trip, I think it was 4 or 5 days, went from Paris to Istanbul, Turkey. And it was and is a very high-end train ride. This is not your Amtrak train ride. This is not even your European, which is the best trains in the world, train system, which are comfortable. Oh, no. This is the real deal. This is the Orient Express. It's called the Venice Simplon Orient Express. Simplon is one of the tunnels that it goes through. And it is, luxury on a train like you can't believe. The train itself is comprised of the original cars, which have been refurbished. There's 11 sleeping cars, 3 restaurant cars, 1 bar, 2 staff cars, 1 bar car. And each of the 17 carriages were part of the original Orient Express. Actually began in 1883, but its heyday was between World War I and World War II. And it is magnificent. You talk about gourmet restaurant on board. You dress up for dinner. It is spectacular. And it was in the 1970s, an American bought several of these dilapidated carriages at an auction and restored them to their grand glory, their former glory, and it is the best ride in the world. Can you imagine sitting on a train where you dress up for dinner, the food, linens and the cutlery, all silver, and of course tablecloth. We're talking gourmet restaurants, high-end restaurants. The food is that good. and you have the views, and it's like 1890s, 1920s decor, and some you have suites, and some you just have rooms, sleeping rooms, and it doesn't sound spectacular, and it's something I wanted to do for literally forever. And then I started looking at prices. That's the problem. That's the problem. If you're talking about the grand suite where you're at your own bathroom, it's 2 passengers. There's a little bedroom and a lounge area and a private bathrooms. It's $7,200 per person for a one-night stay. Thank you very much. And it's otherwise it runs, if you're going to go for the entire week, it's actually a bargain for the entire week because that you can do for maybe $1,500, $2,000 a night per person. And the cheapest is about $1,000 they have for a train ride. Man, what a train ride. This is something I would love to do. It's well, out of our league for the most part. But just see, I may do that during, holiday seasons, come up with these great vacation experiences that you or I could never afford just to make you feel good. Just want to do that. During the times of stress, I just want to throw it right back at you. Wouldn't you like to do this? Coming up, Handle on the News late edition, and it is a super segment. No commercials throughout the entire half hour. This is KFI AM 640. Let's check in with Layla Muhammad.
LA County Sheriff's investigators are looking for a man they say shot and killed his brother in San Dimas and then tried to kill another brother.
He's a male Hispanic, 58 years of age. He actually is a resident of Florida, and he was out here visiting his mother.
Homicide Bureau Lieutenant Brandon Dean says after the shooting Wednesday night, the man went to another brother's home and shot into an empty car. Dean says the man was last seen on a red and white Ducati motorcycle with a California plate that ends with T1111. News brought to you by Semper Solaris. Businesses are taking a hit from the oil spill in Orange County. Brett Jarrow, who co-owns Hogan's Bait and Tackle in the Dana Point Harbor, says it's hard to plan for his business with so much uncertainty surrounding the spill.
If it's 1 month, 6 months, 1 year, that could be a big change in the way we do business.
Jarrow says he's down at least 50% in sales since the harbor closed earlier this week. The Navy says one of its nuclear-powered attack submarines collided with something while traveling through international waters in the Pacific Ocean. The military says 2 sailors were treated for moderate injuries from Saturday's collision, and other sailors have cuts, bumps, and bruises. The USS Connecticut is said to be safe and stable and is making its way to port at U.S. Naval Base Guam for a damage assessment. The Riverside County Sheriff's Department will have extra officers at a high school football game in Palm Desert because of a stabbing at a game last week. The department says there were no credible threats around tonight's game between Palm Desert and La Quinta, but officers will be there to make sure fans and players are safe. One person was stabbed at a game last week between Palm Desert and Palm Springs. Comic-Con has returned to New York for the first time in 2 years. Last year's convention was virtual because of the pandemic. The annual comic book convention opened yesterday. Fans say they're happy the event is back in person.
This is such a great way to finally have things opening up. Such a big event like this. This is much missed here in New York.
The LA Comic-Con is also set to return as an in-person event this December. Let's head to the 60 in Pomona.
You betcha. Pomona Chino, be heads up now. This is the eastbound 60 in Mountain. That's east of the 71. It's been a pretty bad crash. Fire department is needed there to help out. If you got the carpool lane at times more to get everything over to the shoulder. And if you're coming through the 71, that's where it's starting to back up. If you're running super late and you're okay with surface streets, eastbound Riverside Drive is pretty good, really. You can get on Mountain and then be on your way. Now back to San Fernando Valley, it's been like the tide all morning here, kind of coming and going, but South 405 is still from Sherman Way up and over the hill. Eastbound 101 improved a little bit, but still slow over towards Balboa, then the 405, and then over to the 101, the Hollywood Freeway. Now if you continue on East 134 through Glendale, that at least is looking good, and be careful, it's kind of slick. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Jeff Bob.
Tonight's Dodgers-Giants playoff series opener will feature starters Walker Buehler and Logan Webb. Manager Dave Roberts is really looking forward to this matchup of California rival teams.
It's like I said earlier, I think it's great for baseball. They think a lot of the way we think as far as getting platoon matchup advantages. There's a lot of familiarity, which makes it fun, even more challenging. It's going to be a great series. It's going to be a fantastic series.
First pitch is set for 6:37 p.m. live on AM 570 LA Sports. Brought to you in part by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Morongo, good times. There is some NFL to report. Rams improved to 4-1 after beating the Seattle Seahawks by a score of 26-17. I'm Wayne Resnick, KFI Sports.
Go solar with local and veteran-owned Zipper Solaris. Visit zippersolaris.com.
Southland weather from KFI. Another chance for rain today. It's mostly cloudy out there right now. Highs in the 60s from the coast to Metro LA, Inland OC, the valleys, and IE. We lead local, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Layla Muhammad.
I'm Susan Owen, managing partner at OPO Law. And if you think all personal injury attorneys are alike, you'd be surprised. All law firms are not the same. OPO Law has a 98% success rate on over 10,000 cases we have handled. And while insurance companies continue to make lowball offers, we fight hard to get you the money you deserve. Fierce pursuit to win for you is our specialty. We don't settle your case for what the insurance company thinks it's worth. We settle your case for what we believe it's worth. For over 4 decades, we have gone to battle with the insurance companies and have obtained over $1 billion for injury victims. If you've been injured, call 888-OPO-WINS. That's 888-OPO-WINS for a free consultation. Remember, you don't pay until we win your case.
OPO Law, the law firm insurance companies fear most.
I'm Susan Owen, and I would be honored to handle your case.
I am one of thousands of women with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC.
Which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body.
I am living in the moment and taking Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for postmenopausal women or for men with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy.
Be in your moment. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Tired of the BS? We spent $500,000 on this. Result, $8 million for leg-injured motorcyclists.
The Pink Floyd Exposition, Immortal Remains, now open through January 9th at the Vogue on Hollywood Boulevard in Los Angeles. Immerse yourself in the band that changed music forever. Get tickets now at pinkfloyd.com.
Staying healthy isn't easy. Watching diet, hitting the gym, avoiding stress. But a good night's rest helps boost your overall health and wellness. And it couldn't be easier. The Sleep Number 360 smart bed effortlessly adjusts and responds to both of you. The result? You wake up ready for anything. Proven quality sleep is life-changing sleep. Don't miss our weekend special. Save up to $800 on Sleep Number 360 smart beds, plus free premium delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
KFI AM 640.
Local.
And I'm our radio station. Handle on the news. Late edition. Handle on the news. And now, here's Bill Handel.
Friday morning, October 8th, Bill Handel and the morning crew. And it is Friday, and it's time for news, but super segment. No commercial, no commercial break at the quarter. So here we go. Handle on the news, late edition with Layla Muhammad in for Jennifer, Wayne Resnick in for Wayne, and me lead story. And it's game one of the Division Series playoff. It'll be the Dodgers and the Giants. Now, this is a wild statistic. 106 wins the Dodgers had, and they were the wild card. They didn't win the division.
That's because of the dumb structure of the postseason system, which many people now are calling to change.
Yeah, because the Giants won one more game, 107. But then, that makes sense. I mean, the numbers are the numbers.
No, but what you would think is, look, the Giants had the best record in baseball. The Dodgers had the second best. What you would assume normally is they would both go in as like number one and number two seeds. So the fact that the Dodgers, even though they're the second best in the entire sport, it's like they have to be seeded all the way down at the bottom of the pack.
But yeah, that's the case in football, too, with the playoffs, because you're playing various divisions. And, hey, same in basketball, or basketball is different?
Basketball doesn't have quite the same quirks in this regard as these other two sports. But in baseball, because of this season, it's drawing a lot of extra heat from fans, from sports writers. It's time to reform.
But it's not going to change. We can't get the Electoral College changed.
I mean, at least it ended up with the matchup that you want in the National League. You did get 1 and 2 going
and certainly in California with the biggest rivalry in baseball, or so we say.
Well, based on the amount of hate that's thrown between the two teams, I'd agree it is the biggest rivalry.
Well, the U.S. Labor Secretary Marty Walsh, excuse me, oh my God, coffee cup number 2. Jacob, can you work on that, please? He has a French press. Anyway, Marty Walsh is blaming COVID for the latest disappointing jobs report. We only added 194,000 jobs last month. They were hoping the number was closer to 475,000. And he said, COVID is still upon us and people are struggling to get back to work. Some by choice.
Those numbers always get revised.
Yeah, they do. And the numbers are completely skewed, especially when you talk about the unemployment rate, 4.8, 5.1. That's a stupid number. It really tells you nothing. What you really need is the U2 numbers, where it's the number of people, not just in the workforce, looking for work, because if you're no longer working for work, you don't count. You're not a human being anymore. It's like our demographic.
We can't report those numbers, though, because Bono will not allow it.
That's absolutely correct. Well said.
The chorus is growing louder. The chorus is saying, if you want your stuff for the holidays, by the holidays, you better start shopping now. That's because of supply chain bottlenecks all over the place.
Yeah, it's not because of the economy. Matter of fact, the economy, people are pent up and they want to spend money, but ain't going to happen. It was Jennifer that said it was months to get furniture, to get appliances, and that's what it is. I mean, you've got, it's 8-9 months out to get a couch.
Yeah, because of the backups at the port.
And the certain products are impossible to get. Now, you think making a couch, come on.
Materials?
Right, but what material? There's only one material that is in short supply. Plenty of wood. There's plenty of fabric. Foam. The foam they can't get. It's just weird. And then, of course, the reason cars are in short demand because of the ships.
Yeah, microprocessor shortages.
Yeah, it's crazy.
iPhones now, there's like a month lead time.
The only people that are getting chips are Frito-Lay.
And it's going to get worse because they're expecting consumers will spend as much as 10% more this year. So you are upping demand at the same time that supply is going down.
Yeah, I was when Clark was here, I want to get a TV. I have to replace the TV. And he said, you're going to pay a fortune. Don't do it. And I said, I'll tell you what.
You have to.
Well, yeah, no, you can come over to the house and look at the wall. We'll do that. Hey, let's spend the evening looking at a wall.
Well, Clark has had a guy who would do that. He'd say, you know what, until the prices come down, I'm going to get a cheap painting,
right?
And we'll look at that all the time.
He actually sent me a text afterwards and goes, this is the one deal on a TV that exists. And I said, I need a bigger TV than that. I have to get a 65-incher to fit the space that I have.
Oil spill effects being felt in San Diego County. So volunteers are responding to the oil spill off the coast of Orange County. They're now working as far south as Oceanside. Some lifeguards in both Oceanside and Carlsbad spotted tar balls on the beaches. So it's not impossible this is something that occurred naturally, but they're still investigating to see if it's linked to what's happening off the coast of Oceanside. Yeah.
They'll get this cleaned up. And when you look at the numbers of birds that have been affected and have died, it's 5 or 6 relative to the number that happened that were the thousands. You know, the Exxon Valdez, that up in Prince William Sound in Alaska. I mean, that was thousands and thousands. Even the Santa Barbara spill. I mean, there were, the number of animals that were destroyed or, that were killed and seriously injured with the oil all over their bodies.
Well, authorities say the wildfires up north may have killed hundreds of giant sequoia trees. Sequoias are designed to withstand regular fires. Right. They drop all their stuff and they regenerate.
Well, the
That's
pine
part of
cones.
the natural.
Pine cones open up during a fire and the seeds come out. That's fires actually are responsible for the pine
That's
cones
the
dropping their
natural
seeds.
cycle. The problem is now we're getting these super fires of greater intensity that these trees they're not equipped for. So they're not sure exactly how many have perished, but it's not 1 or 2 or 5. It's a lot.
Yeah, and worse, these giant sequoias, these wonderful redwoods that have been burned. Now, it's not, but only, it's just the hundreds versus, there are groves that have 5,000 of them in there, so the numbers are relatively small, thank goodness, because those trees are magnificent. They're indigenous to California, the sequoias, and if you've ever been in a sequoia forest, it's just, and I don't get overwhelmed usually when, by nature. I just don't. But I remember the last time I went, looked around at these things, and all I could think of was patio furniture.
Oh, no.
You
would, too.
So random.
Thank you.
It's your show, so you can be random if you like.
That is something that you would do.
Yeah.
Oh, very good. See, you bring it right back. All right, let's move on.
President Biden to restore national monuments. 2 of those in Utah, reversing a decision by former President Trump, which had opened some of the lands for mining and development. Bears Ears, I keep saying Bears Ears and Grand Staircase Escalade monuments, which cover about 3 million acres. And they include Red Rock lands that were sacred to Native Americans.
And this is bringing back what Trump did to reduce the number of acres of these monuments, national monuments. And the argument that Trump made was there's just too much land here. And we have to open this up to mining and we simply have to take the minerals out of the land because private enterprise prevails. And Biden, of course, goes completely the other way. And this was done by a directive, presidential directive. So it's simply just a signature. So you can undo what has happened before. And I don't think they opened it up. I don't think you're seeing mining companies have already come in because even with federal lands, the application process and the regulations take years. So it's just thoughtful. And I believe that, even with opening it up, I don't know how many companies would actually even
Do it.
apply.
Right.
Because the next administration can turn it around.
Exactly.
That's true, although once you're in, it would be difficult to pull you out.
Yeah, I think once you're in your grandfather in, I don't think they're going to go retroactive and force you to pull out your vans or the mines or oil wells or whatever.
The governor of Utah seems to think a lot of companies would want to, because after Biden made this move, the governor of Utah called it a tragic missed opportunity.
Of course he would. Is he a Republican?
Yeah.
Okay, just wondering.
There was a big explosion at a mosque in Afghanistan. Now, nobody's taken responsibility officially yet, but everybody's assuming it's probably the Islamic State trying to strike a blow against the Taliban. A Taliban police official said at least 100 people killed or wounded in that blast in the capital of the Kunduz province.
Now, when the terrorist attacks first started, these bombing attacks in cities across the Mideast, mosques were off base. They never touched the mosques. now they're primary targets.
Yeah. During worship. Right. Not even in the middle of the night to destroy it and make a statement. While it's packed with people who supposedly are the same religion as you, although I understand, as in many religions,
and
which other
Sunnis,
religions too, where there are divisions where one group doesn't consider the other group part of the same religion.
Yeah. It's gotten bad, it really is, when you now have Muslim terrorists attacking mosques. Man, you just hit a new level where it was incomprehensible 10 years ago.
Nobel Peace Prize awarded to two journalists, Maria Ressa and Dmitry Muratov. They won the Peace Prize because they braved the wrath of the leaders of the Philippines and Russia to expose corruption and misrule. This is a first for journalists in 86 years. First time the Nobel Peace Prize has been given to a journalist, 86 years. They were awarded for their courageous fight for freedom and expression in their country.
And being awarded for still being alive.
Yeah, that part.
Because all the other people of this ilk are already dead and been murdered. So it's pretty ballsy of them to even continue on with their work.
Especially, I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Dmitry, but Maria Ressa founded this, it's all online, this news thing called Rappler. And man, oh man, do they go after Duterte. I mean, in ways that I'd be afraid to.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Talking about his murderous anti-drug campaign and everything. And on constant. And that is a level of bravery I don't even think in this country we necessarily see. Dog the Bounty Hunter, oh my goodness. Number one, he's been hit with a $1.3 million lawsuit. Number two, both of his daughters are talking trash about him. And all of this seems to have to do with the same thing. He has this show, although it's never really aired, and it's already been canceled before it airs, called Dog Unleashed. And they were following him around down in Florida as he injected himself into the search for Brian Laundrie.